Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. How's it going? How's it going? My name is Lucc, Lucky, Bad Luck, Terrence. However you see fit. I got a bunch of different names over here, and they all still fit. I just want to welcome y'all to Homeroom, the show where we talk about pop culture, hot topics, and everything in between before you get your day going. This is your space to laugh, think, and let your hair down. And while you grab your coffee, kick it, hang out, just chill, relax. We have a good time, a great conversation. I appreciate y'all for being here today. Welcome. My day is going good. My day is starting off real good. So Monday, I'm feeling up and at 'em. Feeling good about today. Feeling good about this week. I'm feeling good about some big things coming up on the calendar. I'm just excited just to get the next part of my life going. Throughout life, you get as you age. I stopped looking at like getting older per se. I mean, it's obviously getting older, but I stopped looking at getting older per se, and I start looking at what's the next level, what's the next thing, what's the next growth period, the next elevation phase. You know what I mean? Shaq, what's good? Top of the morning to you, Shaq, and I owe you a phone call too. I forgot about that. I've been so busy this weekend, bro, but I do owe you a phone call. I'm actually calling to check in on you. How you feeling today? How are you feeling? I'm hoping all is well, but how are you feeling? I'm glad you're here today. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right myself. I sent Michelle a link also so she can log on. Hopefully she taps in and then checks her email. But I sent her a link also. Got some questions, got some things I want to talk about today. Michelle is definitely in the building. What's good? I'm good. I'm about to pull you on stage, all right? Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. We got Michelle J. Definitely in the building. Man, good to finally kinda virtually meet you. You know what I'm saying?
Nice to meet you, Luck. Yeah, it's gonna have to be a little bit better next time, but we're gonna make it happen.
100%. That's what this community for. My community is. I'm very intentional on not just making this a whole like internet fake relationship type of thing. Like I'm truly trying to build community so we can rely on one another, talk to one another, offer each other safe spaces, and build. You know what I mean? However you see fit. And cool thing about the internet is no matter where you are in the world, hopefully we can connect. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all love. It's
Really
all love. I'm
you.
excited to be here.
How you feeling?
I'm all right. I'm on lunch break right now. I was looking for that link a little bit earlier, but Black people time is cool with me.
Let me tell you 100% because let me tell you something. I thought about homeroom at 9:43, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Okay, Professor, show up late too.
I forgot I had to do something this morning. Right, right. How long we got with you today?
However long we need. I had a few topics, but I'm just here to add my 2 cents, and that's it.
Come on now, Professor. You got your topics?
Yeah, I just got a few of them. I'm gonna let you do it, Professor.
I ain't mad at that. Come on now with your topics ready. I appreciate that. Yeah. Let me shout out a couple people in the chat. A shout out to Troy Chu. Troy Chu is definitely in the building. Shaq right back. Kevin Finley is definitely in the building. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. I'm excited about this show, mainly and most importantly because I have you here. And I love to talk to people. I love to have these dope conversations and kind of let it go how I see fit. What I want to talk about start this conversation is I want to talk. It's kind of been a topic amongst musicians for sure, but not even musicians, but journalists alike and politicians alike. Also, when it talks about the connection between or the correlation between street life and rap music, right? And how does that correlate, if any, right? And I remember as a young artist myself when I was starting out, I used to argue that, right? I used to, do y'all blame the movies for action movies for murder and all that? I used to have, the same argument. But as I got older, in my opinion, I realized that I contributed, in a sense, maybe even on a small scale, I contributed more to um, some topics that I'm not today necessarily proud of than I led on to be early on. Right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, I
you
guess
know.
that came from what they say hip hop started right in the ghetto. So I think they just try what keep that essence and make it street. But you gotta separate the art from the from the artist.
So I'm glad you said that. So that's the part I think we as a people in general are having our problem, right? So for example, remember we started talking about this with R. Kelly situation, right? Can you, right, right? Can you separate the art from the artist? And
Right.
R. Kelly, as we know, did some very nasty, dirty things,
Absolutely.
and but he's also one of the greatest, hands down, one of the greatest R&B artists of all times,
Mm-hmm.
right? And made classic songs that no matter what you think of him, if it come on, you're gonna want to toe tap or something, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I
So,
play a few songs without nobody else around, but
so is it easy for you to separate the art from the artist?
yeah, for sure, most definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, only for the fact because I tried music.
Mhm.
So, and like I said, once I studied the rap game, I said, okay, this is not for me. Let me stick to poetry. It's
Word.
something wicked out there. So, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
able to separate the artist from the music because I tried it. But I don't think it should be difficult for somebody on the outside looking in to do the same.
Does
Um,
it depend on the crime?
does it depend on the crime?
If we're talking about crime, I mean, because there's other factors, right? But does it depend on the crime, right? Like, it's one thing to
No.
be like, you're talking about drugs and people are affected by drugs, obviously, but you also can be a serial murderer that we find out, or you can be a straight up R word out here, right? Like, you know what I mean? And then so when we talk about, here's the thing about crime too. We know, well, my opinion, um,
Hmm.
the only crime that you literally, in my opinion, you literally can't justify,
Right.
in my opinion, is the R word. And I'm
Okay.
not talking about statutory because you could be 17 and somebody
Right.
18
Yeah.
and that gets real tricky. So I'm not going to bring up statutory. We're not going to go down
Right.
that gets a little deep. But forced R word,
Right.
right? And there's no justifying it. There's no way nobody can make that make sense. Period. Right?
Agreed.
And child stuff
Agreed.
of essay, child essay, right? So other than that, murder, you can try to come to my house and kill my family. I kill you. You can justify that. And depending on religion, sometimes you can't. But we're not talking about from a religious scope.
So are you saying rapping about that stuff? Because I don't think those.
No.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I'm talking about. So there's two different things. Okay, first of all, let me clear it up because you're right. Two different things. There's the connection between street life and rap, and is there a connection,
Right.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
I love the topic of art. Can you separate the art from the artist? So the
Right.
conversation kind of shifted, right?
Okay.
And now we're kind of on art versus the artist. And
Okay.
can you separate that? Because I have the same kind of perspective you have. Like, yeah, but then I'm like, but what if he did that? Or what if she did this? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. So,
Okay. So to
you know
answer
what I
your
mean?
question, no, I don't think it depends on the crime.
Okay.
You should be able to separate the art from the artist depending on the crime. But when you give those two examples, now I'm thinking like nobody's rapping about that stuff, right? Because then
Right.
you for
right.
sure not, yeah, we not rocking.
Right.
It's people rapping about murders, right? And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it may be a hit. But if you rapping about those two things that you can come back from, there's no way to separate,
Yeah.
the art
Yeah.
from the artist.
It's tough. It's tough, and so the one thing, if we do talk about like murders and stuff like that, and someone, I'll use an actual artist in real life and somebody I didn't know, but as the story goes, he was like that, right?
Okay.
So let's take someone like a King Von,
Okay.
right? Who's rest in peace, King Von.
Big
I
fan.
didn't know him, huh?
I was a big fan.
Okay, so I didn't know him. You were a fan, so you would know his music better than I
Right.
would.
Mm-hmm.
But what I heard when he was alive and after, that he was like that. He was one of them ones for real, right?
Right.
So how do we kind of look at King Von when it's about street life and rap? So I guess you can't help as an artist coming up in urban areas to kind of your real self to somewhat bleed in your music.
Right.
Right. If you are a street dude, then I mean, it's hard to not talk about some of that stuff when that's your life and you just rap about the things you know. And so you make these songs and these people are fans of these songs. And then you like, yeah, but he was out here also. Now, mind you, this is older me, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was out here also really doing niggas in, getting niggas up out of here, right? And then you kind of like, yeah, I know, and that's messed up, but I do like the music.
Right.
I
So let
do.
me tell you how I deal with that, right?
Okay.
When I'm rocking to the music and he starts talking about, all the people on the other side, and then I find out these are real people, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can't sing these lyrics then. Like,
For sure.
the song is still cool, but I can't do no name drops. I never knew that person. And, I was feeling a little indifferent. Like when you start hearing stories are backed up and it's like, okay, he can rap, but why he got to rap about that? So I felt a little indifferent singing these people's names and I didn't know, and it was real situation. So, I guess, and that's the same thing for people were like, can white people say the N-word in songs? And that's, I know we're going off, that's a whole nother topic, but that's how I feel. I'm not saying this person's name in a song because that man really not here, so.
Yeah, it's kind of like music has given people feel like music sometimes give them a pass to play the part. Right.
Yeah, and me personally, once I found out it was true stories behind this, I'm like, okay, well that song is still cool, but I probably can't recite them aloud, and that's just how.
That's how I felt when I found out that R. Kelly wrote "You Are Not Alone" for Michael Jackson. Right? It's like, and it's like once you hear that record, and here's the thing: it's not even for the people who don't know in the comments or whatever. It's not even that he just wrote it because he wrote a bunch of stuff. But I know specifically because it was told, the girl told, they told the story of it. It was written for a young lady, a young girl, that he had left off. I went to tour or something like that. Her parents that came and picked her up and took her back home or something like that. And he wrote it for her directly, specifically, an underage young girl that her parents came and took her back home and got all pissed and mad at whatever and then took her away. So he wrote it to her, like, "You are not alone. I'm here with you." If you think about the words, it sounds like somebody talking to someone that's gone. You know what I mean? And they missed them. So when when that song comes on, as much as it's a great legendary song, I know that I can't help but to think about the little girl that he wrote it for, which is nasty.
You ain't have to bring me on that train, Lucc. Now I didn't found out. Like, and Mike Jackson was one of my favorites. I'm talking about since a kid. I liked him. So
and see, it's like, and Mike didn't know. Mike was just hell. Mike didn't know. No, Mike didn't know. So I can't blame Mike. But
I'm just here to sing it, right?
Mike like, oh, word, good song, right? It became a hit record, but R. Kelly, we found out later on, was a very nasty man. It was hiding a lot of different things, and a lot of us have habits, vices, and a bunch of different things. Some aren't as like dramatic and dark as like child essay stuff, right? But it's hard to place judgment when we live lives that aren't squeaky clean. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But to the original topic about connecting street life with the music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that rap music? I guess when we started talking about the heavy street life of rap music, I'm not talking about the '80s type because once gangster rap kind of set in, a whole bunch of things changed in the music, especially hip hop, and people rapped about the streets from a different perspective. Not so much. It's not like the message when they were talking about how bad or poor of an environment this is, and we need to do something about it. Lyrically, that's how they wrote it. It was more so like, I'm the gangster and niggas, what you want to do, right? How it kind of changed. And since it changed to that kind of perspective, is it fair to say that a lot of the artists in hip hop, can't name names, I don't know a percentage, but there's been a wave of gangster music, gangster rap, and however you want to look at drill, trap, gangster rap that had steered or hyper focused on one of the most negative parts about being young, urban, and black, right? And they maybe influence. I feel maybe we were influencing a bunch of people to do a bunch of ill shit, right?
Yeah.
And how do we in the words of like how do we swallow that pause? Like, you know what I mean? That's a lot, right?
Yeah,
This is
I think it all started with Common. I used to love her. And he broke it down how rap traveled to the West
yeah.
Coast and
Mm-hmm.
that's when all the gangster stuff came out. And I think he that song is I love that song and it pretty much just takes it from where it started to how it ended up now. You get different perspectives. And
Yeah.
once you
It's
get
crazy because
once you get anybody to
yeah.
talk, then it becomes the different genres that rap has broken down into. So
Do we feel the same about? I guess this thing goes across the board with content, subject matter, right? Because I remember when Lil Kim dropped, and I remember the hardcore CD, and I remember how all the politicians and then the church crowd, and they were going in on saying like, "Hey, women don't supposed to act like that, right? Women don't supposed to
right,
be like
yeah,
that, right?" In so many words, that's what they were saying, and it kind of she's not to blame, obviously, but it kind of ushered in for so many people. For some people, okay, here come the Foxy Browns after that, and here come the kind of like female instead of rapping about um whatever you were rapping about. I wouldn't know what to rap about as a young woman coming out at that time, right? but I guess the perspective is sex sells in a way, right? So can we look at them the same way? Is there a connection to the influence? Were they influencing the babies? Were we influencing the babies? And
absolutely, yeah, for
okay,
sure. And like I said, whenever you give whoever a chance to speak, you know what I'm saying? So now women are able to speak, and now this is
yeah,
what they want to talk about. So I think I don't want to say gatekeeping, but something should have happened where it should have been like, these are the standards, and this is how you come in, and this is how you respect hip hop, and this is how you come into the game, and this is how you have a voice. But now everybody got a voice, so it's like we could talk about.
yeah. You
But
make
yeah,
a
that
great.
same thing. That same thing. How you yep, Lil Kim ushered in, the sexually explicit and
Mhm.
all that. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody got a part.
and here's the part that's it's kind of like the line I'm standing on is kind of like sway both way anyway, is because if Lil Kim comes out, and I'm just using her as an example,
Right.
if she comes out and then this is this big deal hit record selling, the content is what the content is. She look like how she looks, talking about what she's talking about. As a businessman, me if I'm running a label, then I'm like, oh, they want that from them, right? That's how we looking at it, right? Like, oh, this was, oh, when women say that, this what happens because remember we had the MC Lights before her, the Queen Latifahs before her, and not that they didn't sell because they were legends in their own right and
Right.
made great contributions to rap music. Lil Kim came up in the money era after the '90s, and then after the Death Row era, and then the Puff era, and then Lil Kim comes along, and then niggas out here getting money. She's taking them to the bank, and they like, oh well, this must be what they want. And for
Yeah.
young girls coming up, maybe wanting to rap in the game, or maybe not even thinking about rapping until a Lil Kim show up, and they like, oh shit, I can do that. I look like this, and this was sales and all that, whatever. Like, I just talk about sex and rap, easy, right?
Um
It's
yeah,
kind of like it's kind of like the
absolutely.
modern day, like, oh, well, let me just go to OnlyFans and do what I do. It's messed up,
But even
but
but even when we have Lil Kim and all of that, they still had some lyrics, you know?
now,
Uh
now you
so
now you cooking. Now you cooking. That's a fact.
if we looking at what we listening to now, yeah, the sex sells, but what I mean, can we get a little bit of substance behind it? Can we just
Now, see, now that's what you and I want. We want the substance. Period. Men,
right,
women, whoever doing what, right? But the messed up part is that it's like I talked about in one of my other lives when I talked about how me and my partner was talking to this young kid. He's with his boys and stuff like that. And they were telling me, they straight up like, they was like, man, you old niggas, y'all care about lyrics. We don't care what they saying. And I'm like, yo.
Well, I'm out of touch. Is that what it's come down to? The lyrics don't matter, it's just the beat. Is that
what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling you. Like think about this. When it takes I remember when I first heard Lifestyle by Rich Homie Quan and Young Thug, right?
You about to say it. I'm gonna wait till you go ahead. Just go ahead, Lucc.
It's like
when
I first heard the record. It's like when it come on, banging, the beat banging or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'm a little old, but I don't know what he's saying, right?
Right.
I don't know what he's saying, but I like this melodic. I like the melody, and I like the beat. And is that enough to carry me? Is that enough for me? Now, for me, no. I could take it as a single and be like, play it a couple times, but I really don't know what he's saying. That's a problem for me. But I'm out the way, right? I'm considered out the way as far as like a consumer that people sell music to, unless you're my peer trying to sell music to who thinks for 40, 45 and up niggas, right? Like, but if it's like if you're making music for the 20s and early 30s, and I say early 30s, maybe not even, right? If you're making music for that demographic, and these kids are telling you, like, we don't give a shit what they talking about. It's kind of, as a businessman, you sell, but as a fan and an artist, I'm like, that's terrible.
So we saying they got something to do with the downfall in hip hop too then.
100%.
Okay, all right.
The consumer, spending power, buying power is gonna shift whatever, any kind of way.
Yeah.
Right? If Michelle J is the new rapper and she coming out and you get and before you get a deal, every time you drop something, million likes on videos, hundreds of thousands of views. 100,000 of views, and you sell it out. And every time you do a video independently, you book a place for maybe 1,000 people, 500 people, 2,000 people, sold out. What the labels are saying, what you have just told the labels is, people want this. Whatever she doing, we don't care. Do that. We don't care what you're doing. People want that. So in the game, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like, I remember a long time ago, I'm gonna bring my man Sticks on live one day. He talked about, I think it was Sticks, if I'm not mistaken. I remember one day he went to do a meeting at Def Jam one day, and they told him, we're looking, at the time it was 2003, 2004, I think. Mm-hmm. And they said, we're looking for a 50 Cent type. I'm like, nigga, it's a 50 Cent out already.
Right. Is he not doing something right? What's going on?
Because what happens is, these people are like, we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars. We need a for sure bet. We're not gambling no more. That's why a lot of artists don't get signed from just being dope and walking in offices.
To piggyback off what you just said, like that, and that's why I have a indifferent feeling about all these like reboots of these old songs, and it's just like, okay, you take the same, like, you take this literally the same exact song, and I guess they call it like sampling it. Yeah, but it's the whole, like, you don't have to do nothing, but I don't know about that. I think it's like
literally
what Lotto did.
Yeah.
From the South.
Ashanti.
Okay, yeah. Well, we can keep going. We can name them all day. It's like, are we ever going to be original with this music thing anymore? But
see, and that's the thing, right? It's like it's the, first of all, that's the cheat code. You take a cool. They don't do it too much they do it. Rappers flip stuff all the time, and it's definitely not as creative. But for example, sampling isn't the problem, right? You got artists like Ninth Wonder, Kanye, when Kanye was doing Kanye, who are sample gods. The way they sample, it takes Pete Rock. The way it takes skill to even sample the way they sample, and sometimes how they sample is, you don't even know where the record came from. You don't even know what part they sample. You just like, that beat is hard, and then when they break down where it came from, you're like, oh, right? So that's a skill thing. But when you take like Ashanti, and her first 3 or 4 records is basic flips of 3 or 4 records that have been out already, that's a cheat code. Ashanti didn't dance. She wasn't a good performer. She was just pretty, cute, came after Ja Rule, and you put her under songs that already exist that already hit records. Easy sell, right? So I'm with you today with the Lotto Flips or the Coily Ray when she did the girls.
But how about this one? Are you gonna agree me with Beyonce and that Luther? Was it Luther that she did? You make me happy.
Oh yeah, but that's
that was Luther.
Not Luther. Lord have mercy.
Whoever.
It's a Frankie Beverly Maze, right?
There you go. There you go. I like the original song. Why did Beyonce come in like
same thing, right? But then
I
again,
didn't appreciate that from the Queen.
But then again, so this is where we start checking ourselves, right? Because what happens is that if you take somebody like Luther, right, and you like, okay, I like Luther Vandross, he's killer, amazing. But most of the songs you may like, if you're not a Luther fan, to where you was going through them albums or going inside them songs, whatever, then you realize that most of the songs you heard were all remakes. And I'm not talking about remixes. I'm talking about complete remix. Lyrics, everything. It's just not many people sing like Luther. So Luther was a guy that's singing, right? But the records you heard were flips already. But this is what I learned in music also. If you go deeper than that, it's when you look at them records back then, you take a record that Luther flipped, and you found out there was 4 other artists to flip that before them. Like
he just made it sound better.
Because that concept is not new. It's not.
Okay.
But to your point, the problem is people are doing it nowadays. A lot of these people don't have the skill. You can flip a record, but you can't hardly sing, can't dance, can't perform. Or you can't hardly rap and can't perform on stage. That's why you got 100 niggas on stage to take the focus off you can't perform. Right? So that's the part, that's the part we get into. So I think as a whole, the music business in general is suffering from because it's the artists that
from all aspects.
Yeah, you heard about the new case, the new RICO case going down. Ever since Drake lawsuit, Drake was what kicked it off. The lawsuit that Drake kicked off. Now iHeartRadio. Yeah, so the fans are putting a RICO case on radio for payola. So
I think I caught a little Flacco video about that or something.
So Flacco talked about it for sure. Flacco academics talked about it. So
yeah, I didn't do my research on it, but I thought that was normal. I thought that's how you know.
Now you know what I know, right? so that is normal. But here's the problem. These are things that you don't speak of because the game is the game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now what happens is it's like if we all it's like me and you getting money, right? Not that we're doing something illegal, we might have found a foothold in like taxes or something, whatever we're doing.
Right.
And we get money. We get hand over fist, we get this bread, right? It's me, you, and maybe a couple other people where we just hand over fist getting bread. And then one of these niggas go on the internet and be like, yo, y'all know that new loophole with the and just put it on blast and now it's viral. Now other people do it. Oh, it works for real. And they go start doing it. And then the government find a loophole, shut it down. Now we ain't getting paid.
And it's all Drake's fault.
That's what Drake did. Because Drake, what happens is Drake is too big of an artist. And his lawyers are huge also. So what was happening is that he put a spotlight on something and started digging for stuff you don't supposed to dig for, right? It's shareholders' money involved that pour hundreds of millions of dollars into the business. So he's a threat to the industry. And so while people may not look at it, Drake, essentially, he's become a threat to the whole industry. And that's the problem. Now, the feds are doing a RICO case on iHeartRadio, iHeartMedia, and that's just the start. So what happens to all these the DJs that took payola? Now payola is illegal. We know this.
Right.
It's illegal to pay for play. It's illegal to push the record through grease palms, and it's illegal. So we know that. But that's also the nature of the record business started the same time payola business started. It wasn't like payola is new. It started the day the record business would happen, the payola business happened. So it's a thing, but nobody speaks of it because it's an operating system, right? And that's what happens.
That's been working, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
So he's become the whistleblower. Drake.
That goes back to what I just said. We should have been figuring
Gatekeeper.
right. I don't want to use that term, but it's certain
We
people we
should.
should have. This is what it is, because now you get anybody in here and now you blow up the spot. Like, what's up with that?
And
You don't want to
gatekeeping is
play
not
no
even a
more?
bad thing.
Like, dang.
And gatekeeping, to your point, because I used to think that. I used to hate when people convinced me that gatekeeping was a bad thing. Gatekeeping is only bad if you outside the gate.
Ooh.
Right? Because
come on, Lucc.
Because you need people to protect the things that you love. When it comes to culture,
you just changed my whole perspective on it. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't trying to say the word. I was like, I don't want to say gatekeeping, but
no,
nah,
you need
now that I understand, like,
why you think every time, and no disrespect to nobody, but every time a white person get up and do anything semi cool, somebody always inviting them to the cookout, and we be looking like, nigga, who are you to let anybody in our culture, in our thing, right? That's not. It's not. We're not trying to. Excuse me. I love Mexican culture.
Right.
I absolutely love everything about it. The way they stick together, the way they finance, the way they hold each other down, the food, the music. Mexican people are beautiful. I love Mexican people. I love the culture of Mexican people. But I'm not trying to assimilate and go in there and infiltrate and take from them. Because I know what it's like when people do it to our culture. Our culture been bleeding since the inception of us, right? People been taking from us the whole time. So we need gatekeepers to be like, no, you can't just come to the cookout. You can't just pull up. No, you can't just take our music and flip it and do whatever. You can't.
Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement with that. Yeah, you for sure.
Yeah, you so gatekeeping with proper context, right?
Right.
Obviously, there's some of the most evil, dirty people that are standing on the other side of that gate, not letting you in for whatever reason, right? So obviously, so that's why gatekeeping got a bad name, because some people just assholes and don't want to,
Okay.
But gatekeeping is to protect. See, we're looking at the other way around, like people trying to keep you out. No, they're trying to protect it. You know what I'm saying? So, when it comes to Drake and what he's doing is he's trying to tear the walls down because he can't take an ass whooping, right? But this is a system that he's been in. He is who he is because of this same thing he's trying to tear down.
That's why I'm like, you don't want to play no more? Like, what's up?
Right. Exactly.
I'm writing this down. Look, gatekeeping is protecting. You just
yeah. Real hey, Mac can do real talk. Real talk. Gatekeeping is a healthy form of checks and balances. That's a fact.
Shout out to them. I ain't in the chat right now, but yeah, shout out to them.
That's a fact. They yeah, I think it's interesting what happens with this RICO case, because if it goes down and pushes through and they really start locking niggas up or putting them down, you'll see a lot of famous DJs getting shut down. You're gonna see a lot of radio stations cutting back. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of bad shit happening, and
a lot of commercials on the radio now. Ain't no music no more.
Ain't nothing going on, right? And you're gonna see a lot of artists like start going down because the numbers wasn't what they were in real life, right? And it's gonna be harder for every artist just to be boosted to superstar status. You know what?
Now, was that his goal, you think, or it was just
Drake?
to blow up the whole joint, or was it just to like
no?
Hey,
I think he's out of touch. I think he's out of touch. He's and oh no. You know what? Let me not say that. So I think that he's obviously mad at Kendrick, and then he's mad at us as the fans of music, right?
So
and he's also mad at Universal, the label, for pushing, right? But with that, just like an idiot, you would. It's like me and you got beef, and you run in a public building.
I got a call.
Oh, it's all good. It's like if me and you got beef, and you run in a public building, right, with a bunch of people in there. You hear me?
Oh,
so if you,
am I in here?
I said you're here, but you probably got to log out and log back on.
Oh, I'm out.
Just log out and log back on. Tafashe, what's good with it? Rich Religion definitely in the building. Jen is definitely in the building. There we go. There we go. You back? You back? Is she back? Wait for Michelle J to come back online. Yeah, I love this topic, but it's interesting. It's people play the blame game, but you benefited. Drake benefited from the system, the game, the system he's complaining about is literally what built him. Happy Monday, Jen. Happy Monday to you. Hey, Tafashe, that's a fact. That is a fact. Head on the swivel right now. Nervous. There you go. You back?
Oh yeah, my fault. I had a phone call.
Now I can't see though.
Hold on, hold
But I
on.
hear you. Okay.
Hold on, let me.
I'm pulling you up when I see you. When you okay, there you go. Bam. Oh shoot, there we go. Okay, okay. So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying so it's like, for example, it's like if you run in a public building, right?
Okay.
And the building got tons of people in there because of me and you beefing. And instead of running in there going to get you, right? I'll just take a bomb and throw the bomb in the building, right?
I was gonna say he was standing inside the building with it and then set it on fire.
First of all, that's you know what? Let me change the story up. You're right. You're
No,
right. First
he
of all,
just went in the building and set it on fire with him standing inside of it.
here's what actually happened. I was talking shit. You ran in there, beat my ass, and then I ran out, right? and then I turned around. And I turned around and firebombed the building. That's actually what happened. You're right.
Yeah, like
That's
what?
more accurate
You
picture.
forgot you was in here too? Yeah.
He's sick. He's sick.
I guess he said he don't care who he bringing down.
Hey, Shaq, I think so. Maybe. I personally think they offered him a big bag and told him in some years we're gonna give you a bigger bag. Then the battle happened, and Shaq, I think you're right on point with that. The battle happened, and it was gonna go two ways. He was gonna win, and then he can take that bag because he's gonna beat him. But he took an L, a very bad L, an L that we've now seen that has brought his stock down. So your number ain't what your number used to be, right? Remember Fat Joe said yesterday's price ain't today's price, right? That goes the other way too, right? Right?
Yeah.
So you know, it's like they looking like, yo, we don't owe you what we negotiated because you ain't that Drake no more. And you see it now. You see the Iceman records. Nobody feeling them. They don't feel his rollout. It's not creative. It's stupid. People not liking it. And
all of the above. Tell us how you really feel, Luck.
And I'm not necessarily shitting on Drake. That's the truth. And well, that's the truth as I see it. Right.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not catching on. You know,
yeah.
Even that Nokia record, what they tried to tell us was a hit record, right? Because it was charted a certain kind of way.
Calling my phone. I don't even know how it go.
Right, because you don't hear no more.
I never heard the full song in its entirety, to be honest with you. But...
That's what I'm saying. Because we've been in these streets with hit records going off. You couldn't get away from Not Like Us.
Yeah, I don't care every car.
You couldn't get away from it. So we know the hit record sounds like and how it moves. So you tried to push that Nokia record, and it's a hit record. Where? Yes, it's on the charts. Yeah, we know how that go. I know how that go. He's suing for that. He's suing for how that go. So it's just crazy when you think about this. Music game it's weird, and it's a bunch of different. It's a layered thing, but I think this case is going to be very pivotal for the future of music. Especially if you attack radio.
I know when Drake first came out, my homegirl tried to get me on, and I'm like, oh, he's an actor. I didn't believe what he was saying in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, you just carry that with a grain of salt, just like the Thug stuff. When he first came out, we saw this, and so I don't really get too invested with that. I knew he was an actor when he came up off Degrassi, and I knew what kind of person Thug was when he first came out, and he started rapping. He started rapping his true colors, honestly. But we ain't gonna bring up those lyrics.
Right. Let me ask you this, because that's a good topic. Do we put too much investment into who these artists really are?
Well, I think that's what a fan is, right? Isn't that what a fan is?
I mean, it could be because you may be a fan of some people who you know how to separate the two,
Right.
but then
Right.
there's people who can't. There's people who maybe look at Young Thug and be like, you know, I need him to be the AKA real nigga he claimed to be, and maybe the phone calls to them don't seem as real as they thought. So it puts a chink in his armor, right?
So okay, so because some people are delusional, and I guess I guess that because you could be a fan of somebody, right, and you can respect them as
Yeah,
a man who puts out great work. But I guess when you start being too invested, and that's when you become delusional, and there are people just like you.
yeah,
There's some things that you don't tell your friends, or and they're not going to say that in the music. So, just reserve that a little bit, so you don't
yeah.
drive yourself crazy or become delusional.
You know, that's interesting. Shout out to Nick. Nick is definitely in the building. Um, that's the you know what that's crazy because that's the actual conversation we're having. It's like in somewhat you have to be delusional because I think if we're talking about hip hop specifically, right? Um, it's just been a trend on years on end that maybe 8 out of 10 of these people aren't who they say they are. So I think we'd have. So once you understand that, then it's like, look, okay, now I can enjoy the music. Because look, if you're the type that watch cartoons and try to look at all the fake stuff in there, you like, bruh, it's a cartoon. You gotta,
You're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, you're not gonna enjoy it. So it's kind of like how once your eyes is open up to something, though, I think that's where we have the problem sometimes, right? I remember back in the day when I would watch cartoons and old shows, and as a kid, I loved them. And then I got older, and then the original definition of woke, not this new hijack word of woke, but the original when I got my eyes open, I started looking back like, yo, all this shit was racist and sexist and nasty and perverted.
But you
Right?
know
Like,
what? I watch cartoons Saturday morning just to feel like a kid sometimes too, and they're really for adults. Like the
yes.
what they're putting in there is for the adults. It's like
Yep.
as a kid, yeah, I remember watching this, but I didn't get what they were saying then. Like Courage and the
For
Cowardly
sure.
Dog, I was watching, and I'm like, whoa, these are real life, like these are real adult problems. Like you
Yeah.
can't, but it'll
And
go over
a
the
lot of the
kid's
jokes,
head.
you have to be witty enough to even get. You like, man, a 13-year-old kid couldn't even understand what I just understood about this. Right? You
Right,
know,
we gonna slip it in here though.
yeah, for
Like,
sure. But
yeah,
I remember I would watch one of my favorite cartoons of all time, Tom and Jerry, right? I watched
yeah.
Tom and Jerry for days on end. I seen almost every episode of Tom and Jerry, just faithfully watch it as a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and then I got older, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that whole entire time they put a damn mammy in front of my face. That black lady, they only showed her legs, and she had them drunk socks. And she would always say, "Y'all come in the house now. Y'all get in the house. Come in and get this food now." I'm like, wait. I said, wait. So look. I had a conversation with my mama, right? I'm like, now, ma'am, you knew, right? Like, I was a kid. How did you let me sit through this, knowing they put a damn mammy in front of our face every Saturday morning? It's absolutely crazy some of the things in these cartoons. They was getting off racism and getting us a lot of perverted stuff off. And it just went under the rug. It just no kids didn't ask. But
and
we didn't know.
and now they got Adult Swim where they cater
Yeah.
all of those cartoons specifically for
Right.
for the
Yeah.
adults. Yeah, they made a whole little genre for it now.
Hey, Lord Racer, I didn't get it, bro. I was too young. I can't front. You was way brighter than me because a lot of stuff. I used to love Little Rascals. Not the movie, the actual Little Rascals, Our Gang. I used to absolutely love it. And then I realized as an adult, a young adult, but once I got into high school and I started thinking a little bit for myself and got a little older than that, I'm like, wait a minute, Buckwheat and Alfalfa was the actual butt of the jokes. I thought they were just cool black kids was around, and I found out they were the butt of most of the jokes, all the racist jokes, everything horrifically racist that I laughed at because I didn't know, and I'm just like, yo. But like I said, as a kid, it's just a proof that we're impressionable. We don't if you not explain what you're looking at, you just kind of take it in. It just is what it is. The same thing with music. So back to our original topic, it's like if I'm young and I'm in high school, I'm 13, 14, I'm saying 14, 15, 16, and I'm listening to Lucc or watching videos with Lucc, or I'm listening to Ice Cube and him and Too Short got a song called Bitch Killer, Hoe Killer, right? I think Bitch Killer, Hoe Killer, whatever. I'm listening to it. I know all the lyrics, right? And I'm like, to this day, I'm like, I would never sing that today. Like, I would never, no disrespect to them, but it's just like I was so impressionable back then. Look, I got Snoop Dogg tape in '93, right? My dad came home. He went to Tower Records at midnight, bought the tape, came home. My mother seen the cover and made him throw the tape away. Instead of him throwing the tape away, he woke me up. I was sleeping in the living room, slid the tape under me and said, "Hide this from your mama. Don't let her find it. Don't let her see it." I took that tape to school the next day, Bancroft Junior High. In '93, I was maybe 13, 14, 13, 14, something like that. And now I'm playing Doggy Style in junior high in my headphones. Talking about We Don't Let Them Hoes and all these things. And you start to take on this identity of like, oh, this is how you're supposed to be. Get the draws, all these things you start learning.
Yeah.
Obviously from the streets and then the music. And I'm just like, it's hard to look at it and be like, well, it's not the all the way the blame, but it was a heavy impression on me of how I looked at women at the time and how I reacted to girls and the things I wanted from girls. When I was too young to even want that, now you want that because you're being told this is what you're supposed to do as a boy. So it's kind of crazy when you think about that,
Yeah, and I think what's scary is how people let the music influence them too much. Because like you can play music, right? Listen to it and just to pass time. But yeah, it's I guess if you're looking for guidance in the music, then that's trouble to begin with.
Yeah, yeah. You looking for sometimes you're looking for these people to be your mentors, and that could be a problem if you don't know
Right, like because we
what
can
you're supposed to
share
be taking in.
experience. Yeah, like we can share experiences, and you can hear like, oh, he went through that too, but you don't have to, you don't have to deal with it the way he dealt with it. Like
Yeah,
it's okay to hear it and say, okay, there's somebody else out there, but find another way to go about, handling it. You ain't gotta, do what the street guy did, who told you that he's going to do the same thing. So
let me ask you a question directly.
yeah, absolutely.
What shaped what moved you into poetry? So spoken word.
Well, I guess,
Mhm.
I guess it's all poetry, right? Without a beat, right?
Yep.
Ain't it? So I just took the
Mhm.
beat off, stopped going to the studio, and opened a card and started doing it that way. So I haven't been on stage to recite anything, so I guess
Yeah.
I haven't took that step. But yeah, you can't never lose skill. So I just make sure I write. Just it's like
Word.
a fight. So
Do
um,
you ever display it or
yeah,
maybe
I
on
got stuff
Instagram
on
or
my
what?
YouTube.
Okay.
This was years ago. Like I said, when I first started, yeah, I went to the
Mhm.
studio. I was look, when I first started. This is before Nipsey had passed. And
Mhm.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to be a rapper. I had embraced the whole idea. And then, like I said, I studied the business and then realized, oh, it's a whole bunch of games and gimmicks and it's not really about the music. It's a business. And I
Right.
said,
100%.
okay. So once I figured that out, I said, okay, well, I just want to put it out for myself. And once I did that, I said, okay, that's good enough for me. There's a few people who heard it. They know that I'm nice, and that's enough for me. So
Do you
that.
ever want anything more? When I ask you this, I'm not talking about monetary or,
Mhm.
or whatever it is, actually. But I'm not speaking of monetary. Do you ever want anything more from your art and your passion of writing poetry?
That's a great question.
Mhm.
I guess I obviously am because I'm still keeping with it. I think I've just like navigated like because I'm gonna try stand up comedy. So that's all
Word.
the same, right? Writing jokes, writing poetry,
Yeah.
writing music, writing. So I guess that's a great question. Look, I'm glad you asked me that. I guess I am looking for something more because I haven't stopped writing. I guess I just pivoted to something outside of
Yeah.
music. That's
And,
that's a
and, and
great question. Thank you.
no, I look at it like this. I'm asking because I am you in a sense, right? It's like poetry was my first. I was doing poetry before rap, so I shifted the other way. I wrote my first poem in third grade. My teacher helped me write a poem,
Did we
and
all? Right?
yeah, so and I was like, oh, and then once people start saying, oh, this is good, I'm like, oh, maybe I have something, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I believe that's God. That's one of my God given gifts is writing in general, and so as I think now to like my passions and things I want to do in life or arts and music, I always think to myself like, what do I want from this? I have this gift. God intends on me to use it, but
Right.
how do I use it in a way where I don't one abuse it and one it doesn't I don't lose the fire for that passion because of like monetary or you start doing business with your craft and then you start to feel like you hate it because that's what happened with me in music. That's why I got out of music because I let the business tear away from my passion, but I had to clear away so I can come back, right? Um, so when I talk about you and like, well, what do you want from it? Because one, you don't have to want anything from it.
Right.
That can be the pure satisfaction of just writing in your journal or writing in a book and have
Right.
your poetry book. So that can be a thing. But also, it's so many outside of that. It's so many things you can do with writing and words that it's just, for example, I may not have ever go on a stage and do my poetry at some slam somewhere or
Right.
some little spot somewhere, right? But I can take my journal and then turn this into a poetry book, right? Or a coffee table book. I can do something ill like take take this poetry that you've written down and maybe get collab with one of your local or one of your cool friends who are a photographer, and y'all can do a photography. Or you could take some pictures from a friend who's a photographer, and then maybe say if you take 10 pictures, and then whatever when you looked at the picture, whatever you thought, you wrote a poem about it. So every picture is come with a poem in this one coffee table book, right? That's just a way to have ideas about your craft or but everything don't have to be like I said. It don't have to be monetary. But sometimes I know you like me. We have these things inside of us that though we may not express them out loud, they got to come out though.
Right.
It has
Right.
to come out, right? And how do I do that in a way where I don't lose it? That's what I be trying to figure out. You
Yeah,
know.
that's dope. Love. I want to say amen to that. Yeah, that's dope. So I guess you've already answered that question yourself, huh? Is there something else that you was looking out of this?
Yeah, for sure. That's so. For me, I figured out. I don't think about it too much. I used to have a I remember I did a video on YouTube one time, and it was about why you shouldn't monetize your passion. But I didn't mean it concrete. I just mean like sometimes why you shouldn't,
Right.
because what happens is it's a gamble, right? I wanted to be a rapper, and I thought I was very good at rapping. And what happens is you got to get into rap business, and once
Right.
you get into the rap business, then business starts to take a precedence over
Over
you
music.
rapping, right? So the business essentially almost killed my passion, almost because it's
Mm,
still there, but almost killed my passion. Though I blamed the rap music. Oh, I don't like rap music no more. I don't like this no more. But it's not the music I didn't like or the skill. It was the business I didn't like. So
right.
essentially, my love for just being dope on something or doing a feature here, or just rapping in front of the homies or freestyling on video or something like that. For me, that was my fulfillment. That was my payment because I
Right.
love that more than I ever loved being on tour and
Mm,
writing for other people and doing that stuff. So, um, a great example was my man Badru has said, say if you're a cook, say if you love to cook and you cook at home for your family, or when guests come around or friends come over, you don't want to like to cook. You want to cook for everybody. Everybody love your food. They love when you cook. It's a good time. And then people tell you, you know what? You should sell your food. You should sell it on the internet. You should sell it on Instagram and all that. You like, you know what? Maybe I should. I love to cook anyway. So now you start selling your food, and then here come the complaints. Right? Somebody say, "Oh, mine's too spicy. This didn't taste. Oh, I didn't like it. It didn't taste like, she ain't all that. She ain't this, whatever. Or and you start to get so big, now it's a quality control problem. Now it's like you got to serve so many people, so now you start to lack on
The
flavor and taste,
passion. Mm-hmm.
right? And you like, damn, like when I was cooking at the house for free, I felt like heaven. The minute and the minute I got on Instagram, you could have sold to 500 people and feel like hell. And you like, what happened? Right? So sometimes it's not good to monetize your passion, but I think you should always go and at least see where you are in that. Don't not do it because you thinking, I don't want to monetize my passion because it might kill me. Because there's many stories where it worked the other way around, where
Yeah, for
somebody
sure.
took their passion and it went big and blew it up, and they famous all over the world for this thing and they love it. So yeah, something to think about for sure.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Look, I guess I never knew that I was still looking for something out of it. But like I said, I'm writing these strokes. I'm gonna end up on stage one day. So I guess that's what I'm
Now
trying.
that,
Yeah.
let
So
me tell you something. You are bold for that. And when I say bold for that, that's one thing that scares the shit out of me. I done been on stages 60, 80,000 people. Rapping, not nervous. I was nervous, I'm not nervous one bit. But if I even think about standing on stage to do comedy, I will throw up.
see, and that's one thing. That's one thing I wanted to ask. I just had two things before I go.
Mhm.
I ain't wanna take up too much of your time, but uh women apparently it's this thing like men don't think women are funny. Have you heard that before?
I've
Like,
heard it, but I never believed it.
so you're not one of those guys.
Hell no,
So
never.
you're not one of those guys.
Mm-mm.
And then also,
I'm an advocate for women in all areas, in all aspects.
what? Well, why you said that? That was just a lob. How about women in tackle football? I just found out we had a league,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a sports fan. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to support all and everything. I stay here in DC, so we have soccer, basketball, football, all the pro
Mm-hmm.
teams or whatever. And I just found out we had a women's tackle. And
Dope.
I know growing up, my dad, like I said, I played sports. I played basketball. Dad came to all my basketball games. But when
Mm-hmm.
I played flag football, he made sure not to ever come watch me play flag football. He said that's just
Yeah.
not something girls do. Play football.
Well,
And I was like, okay, he didn't support that. So I just wonder,
I
as a
can't.
guy, man, go ahead. How would you feel
Let me
about
add to your
that?
dad. Let me add to your dad thing. I can't speak for him, so obviously I
Yeah.
can't say what he was speaking. But if I were to assume, right, I his feelings isn't that I don't support. Well, yeah, I mean, he said he don't support that, right? Or he may have felt he don't support tackle football with women, right? But I think that's more so about the how rough and painful it can be. So it's like if I can't me, I'm an advocate for women doing whatever they want to do, but also I can't clearly watch if I had a daughter, watch my daughter get tackled on a football field. I'm a father. It's like
No, no,
you
no.
want to.
So, and I don't want to cut you off, like, but this in high school it was flag football. So I
Oh,
understood,
right,
right?
right.
It was
But
flag football,
still,
and he didn't want to come. So that's cool, right? Girls are supposed
no,
to be feminine, and that's fine. But now,
no, no.
as
Yes,
an
okay.
as
Like I
an
said, but
adult, go ahead.
to speak like again, that's why I can't speak for your dad because even though it's flag football, maybe yeah, he didn't. Maybe he think women shouldn't play those kind of sports.
Right? Yeah,
Whatever,
that was yeah.
whatever men's sports, whatever that means for men's sports. But, um, but at the same time, for me, I'm still the same. I'm not like him in that way because I can't speak for him. But if my daughter plays flag football, I'm worried about the same thing because football
Okay,
can get
right.
rough. Football can get rough, and I don't want to see my daughter doing nothing that she can get hurt. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now I can agree with that, and I
Uh,
now as I was in high school, right? I'm way older now, and now,
yeah,
like I said, I see that we have a women's, and I don't want to play, but I want to go watch it. But then I think about when my dad was thinking about, flag football, and I'm like, well, he's right. Like, girls aren't supposed to be like that rough, like, So now I'm thinking, as a guy, I have my own,
mm-hmm.
opinion about it. But how, as a guy, I know, because I know, like, they're saying, oh, do men buy women's basketball jerseys, and do they support that way? So now
They
I'm asking,
would.
how as a man would you feel about supporting women's tackle football? How do
Yeah,
you feel about it?
that's even crazy. So, here's the thing: I'll support because I'm supportive. But
look, don't support. Say that you support. Would you go see a game? Would you go?
Yeah, look, I will see a game, but I'm gonna keep it real. If it's my niece or my something in the game, then I would be like, I can't watch that. That's tough.
Right.
Because it's one. Look, I grew up. It's hard enough to watch one of my friends, or let's forget my friends. It's hard enough to watch the NFL and somebody can't get off the field.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing just happened with my man on the New York Giants. Something just happened in the game. And he was on the field shaking. He couldn't, and people start praying on the field. I could imagine that be a woman. I already can't take it watching these 300-pound linemen can't get off the field because something happened. He got hit a certain kind of way. That's tough. So to watch a woman be treated in a way where it's like, that's something I'll never be used to. Right.
I just wanted to know if we share the same sentiment.
Yeah. I couldn't. I'll never be used to a woman getting tackled, and I'm just like worried about, like, is she okay? And maybe that's the man in me being a protector of women. You know what I mean? But you totally have the right. I'm not against it in that kind of way. And just like look, when you ask about jerseys, people are a fan of good, skill, and greatness. So no matter what you look, people, they had that same complaint with the WNBA until Caitlin Clark came along, and we watched her jersey sell out.
Yeah, you want to know something? Like I said, we have a WNBA team here in DC, but when Caitlin Clark comes to town, we have to go to Virginia and rent a whole nother arena because they can't hold the capacity for everybody who want to come see her. It's so crazy because I just seen one of our home games, quote unquote, we had in Baltimore because the arena wasn't big enough, and I'm like, yeah, Indiana's in town. Here come the fever. So yeah,
when you got somebody to change the money, people are fans of greatness. Yeah. No matter what, the comedy thing is, first of all, that comedy thing was insane. For somebody to believe that women aren't funny is ridiculous.
That's a big thing. So, like I said, before I jumped into the rap game, I had to study the business, and now I'm about to jump into comedy. So I have to study that business, and there's a big thing. Like, women aren't funny. So I just for you to say that you heard it, obviously it's a stereotype. So
I heard it for sure
out there. So. I just wanted to take your.
What's crazy is it's so many women that are superstars in comedy, and it's crazy because it's like, well, who are they? Are they all the exception to the rule? You know what I mean? Are all these women?
Name one person other than Monique, because you're trying to advocate like it's a whole bunch of them.
So, because most of the women I'm going to name are going to be white. First of all, white and Indian.
Oh, okay, all right. What did I know? All right, you cool then.
Right, but the superstars, they're the superstars in comedy, and they're women.
Okay, give me one and one white. Let me write this down too.
I don't even know these chicks. I mean, I know their names, but
yeah.
But no, because I don't. No, I only because I know of them at where my screen at? Oh, sorry. Only because I know of them to be the big ones in the game, but I don't watch them. Okay. Not because they're not funny to me. I don't watch them because I watch a certain type of comedy. You got to be damn near Bill Burr for you to be outside of.
He is. I mean, he is funny.
Hilarious, right? Yeah. But I mean, you got to because you have to connect with us differently. We come from pain, a lot of poverty. So it got to be some kind. It got to be a little edginess there. It don't have to be. It's all about skill though. But with, like, for example, you take somebody like Sarah Silverman, right?
Okay, so, yeah.
Huge in comedy, sells out her ring. I don't bring up the other lady because she got caught stealing jokes. I forgot her name.
But when you said the Indian lady, I thought of the lady who played in. I think we talking about the same lady because she's in a few movies. I think if we talking about the same lady, she's funny.
We are talking about the same lady. Okay, it's not a bunch of Indian comedic superstars, right? So her, right. I forgot the blonde lady. That's the truth,
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, and remember when they did Queens of Comedy, all of them women were on top. Now they weren't because they were black and they're in a certain kind of hemisphere. They weren't. There was no Netflix or no big platforms to put them on. HBO wasn't hiring them like that. But when they did Queens of Comedy, Monique, Samore, Adele Givens, and I forgot who else was.
Oh yeah, I forgot too. I only knew Monique and some more.
Oh, Adele Givens, one of the OGs from Def
Oh
Jam.
yeah,
Like,
she's funny. She's funny.
fire, you know. And first of all, don't even start with Def Jam. One of the funniest women ever to me is Melody Camacho and what's that other lady? She used to say she always play you black bastard. I forgot her name. She was a dark skinned woman too. I forgot her name. I'm gonna find her name for you. But Melody Camacho have me.
Well, this is encouraging. Look, I appreciate that. Go ahead,
man, for sure. You look all that. Oh, women can't do this. Ain't the. That's a very prehistoric conversation. You know what I
okay.
mean? Like for humor.
I'm a rookie podcaster here. Look, give me a break.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, people will project all their biases on you, if you let them, they'll tell you
Right.
all these things of who can't do what, right? When you and it's all about. And look, here's the thing: forget all that. Let's say they write about something, but they not in this instance. They not, but let's say they are. There had to be a first everything. That's why you got to keep moving. That's why you got to push forward. Everything had a first something. Right? They told us we couldn't play baseball, not professionally. And then Jackie Robinson happened. Right? So it's like we couldn't make it
they
on the Supreme
dismantled
Court.
the whole Negro leagues. That is so crazy. I had a
That's
whole
what I'm saying.
baseball cap with all the Negro leagues.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, once they found out, but you know what? I read an article a couple years ago how they introduced all the Negro League statistics into the Hall of Fame. So,
Oh yeah, right. They did do that. I just recently.
So like when Barry
like
Bonds was the
2 or 3 years ago, right?
whatever. Yeah, a couple years ago.
Yeah,
he got pushed down on the list because he never.
Same thing happened with the ABA. The NBA wasn't making no money. The ABA, them niggas over there dunking and all kind of shit.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, I'm not up on that, but they did combine the leagues.
Yeah, they had to, because like they do, they had to squash it because all the skills come from the ABA. It took away the attention from the NBA. Nobody want to see it, but respectfully, nobody wants to see a bunch of white boys playing basketball. They don't want to see it.
The fundamentals.
Same for football. Nobody wants to see a bunch of white boys playing football. They don't want to see it, right? So that's what happened. You know, but you got to be the first. Before they almost said, "Oh, y'all don't play golf," and Tiger Woods happened, right? Y'all don't do NASCAR racing. Lewis Hamilton happened.
Hold on, let me write that down because I don't know that man.
Oh, what? Lewis Hamilton? Fire.
Lewis Hamilton. Oh, so did you watch the F1 movie?
I just watched it. What, 3 days ago? 3 days ago.
Oh, okay,
He's in the movie. He's in the movie.
Yeah, that's why I said let me write this down.
Yeah, Brad Pitt.
I like fast cars, but like I didn't know about the storyline. That's why I wasn't sold on it. But
fire. F1 is a good movie. It's a really, really good movie. Brad Pitt and what's my man from Snowfall? Damon.
Yeah. I saw him in it, but even the previews, I was like, okay, it may be a good movie. Like I said, I wasn't familiar with the storyline, but now
it was a Brad Pitt. It was the old legendary racer who got in a horrible accident back in the day. And so what he did was, instead of, because he used to race professional, right? What he did was, instead of racing professionally, he started to race on like local little races, not the big shit. Because his love for racing never died, but he didn't want to do it on a major scale no more.
Because he almost died. Right.
Because he almost died, but also, you know, it's almost like you couldn't face that again. I couldn't face being a part of that again. You know, and so he ended up getting convinced to come back. A part of a team that his friend was funding. It's a new team and they suck. Now Damon, the black guy Damon, he's the driver for that team. He's a young, he's a young hot driver, super dope and behind the wheels, but they just suck still because they knew. And he needed Brad Pitt to come over there and be the the second man. But he knew that Brad Pitt can be a dope mentor also if he leans into it. So they hate each other first, and then eventually, you know, how the story gonna turn. And then a great movie though, really, really good movie, really good movie. I just watched it.
I'm gonna check that out.
Really good movie, yeah. But man, this has been dope, man. Wanda Sykes, one of the biggest in comedy. Wanda Sykes,
she had a show. She had a show for sure.
Yeah, she's huge, a funny comedian. It's a bunch of those comedians for sure.
One second. I think I had 2 more questions before I get up out of here.
Sure, please. I'm not in a rush. I thought you was. I'm not in a rush though. Phone call. Oh shit.
Am I here? You still me?
Yep, I hear you. Yep.
Okay. One thing. My dad told me that so obviously I'm coming from how men. Basically the question is a handshake or like a man versus their word or men versus their like the handshake. So my dad basically. The topic is like a man and their word versus like a man and like their handshake. You know, like so my dad won. He was shooting pool with a pool shark.
Yep.
And he said, if you win, I give me the pool stick. I get the pool stick. Mm-hmm. So end of the day, they shooting or whatever. Dad wins, and the guy was like, okay, let me go to the car to get your pool stick. And Dad was like, I didn't think he was going to give it to me, And I was like, well, did you shake on it? Me being a girl, like, did you shake on it? Like, that's a bet, right? And he's like, no, we didn't shake on it. So I'm like, okay, well, in my head, he ain't got to give up a pool stick. But, to Dad, I guess he's like, no, we didn't shake on it, but, like a bet is a bet. You have my word. Like, so my question is, I guess, do you need to, I guess, as men, does that handshake mean something? Does it solidify something? Or is your word more important than that handshake?
The handshake means something. It only means something if we agree upon it between the two parties. So if your dad and old boy said that, and then your dad said, okay, reach his hand out to shake, then old boy courtesy would have reached out and shook it, which makes that a handshake deal. But also, most importantly, your word is everything.
That's what he was telling me.
Yeah, your word is everything. So technically, I don't have to shake on it. That's just a courteous thing we do. If we're saying we're making a bet, then we would reach out ahead. But my word should be everything, because if you can't stand on your word, then people will play you to the left every time, because we know we can't count on you for your word. Your word means nothing. And as a man, that's not cool to be out here and your word means nothing.
So you
like
would say,
went to the car and drove off, then he's known as the dude who did that. To keep his word, right? And then never to be trusted, because you can't stand on your word.
So is it safe to say that handshake means nothing then? You have my word.
No, I'm not saying it means nothing, because if you make it something, it means something now.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So we just had, for example, they just had a huge thing with the owner of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, where they were trying to have an issue with him and one of his players, Micah Parsons. So Jerry Jones, right? Remember that. So Jerry Jones wanted to talk to Micah Parsons about the deal, but Micah Parsons said, "I don't talk about my deals. Talk to my agent," which is the legal way it is actually supposed to happen. Jerry Jones said he do his deals he do handshake deals. He don't deal with agents and managers. First of all, that's a lie. But also, in so many years doing business, he probably has done business like that. Where's the handshake deal? We agree on this, we shake on it, and we walk off. Right? So in that arena, if you agree to go meet with Jerry to talk about your contract without your agent and shake on it, then that handshake means everything at that point. Yeah, but initially, I shouldn't have to. Me and you talking on this thing right now. If we make an agreement, hey, something, you got my word, and I got your word, you got my word. That's all I don't never need to meet up with you and shake on it or nothing. And you can't use that also where we didn't shake on it, because now I'm looking at you like a kid. I'm like, oh, that's child shit. That's not, you know what I mean? My word should be law, just like your word should be law, because that's how we moving out here. You got to be trusted. Yeah.
I like that. I can.
Like I said, Tiffany Haddish. Even though
I'm not a fan of Tiffany Haddish, but
I'm not a fan either. But that's why I didn't mention her. But I'm not. And I think people are finding out that she isn't funny as we thought. Because once you got past the she ready, well, okay, we tired of that. That was cool for like 2 months. We tired of that, and then you had nothing else really. So no hate. It's just you know.
She had nothing else ready. That is hilarious. All right, one more thing. Let me see. Let me find this. I should have put this on my other phone.
That's all good. Look, that's real. Tavashe said handshakes will hold up. Handshakes will hold up in court.
Well, I guess you're let me get back on here. I guess your take is the same. Then it was just going to be the difference in women's and men's basketball, and if you could see the difference, and then the other one was, and I guess you talked about Canelo already.
Wait. If I can see the difference in
men,
women
if
and
you
men's
watch
basketball,
men's basketball and if you watch women's basketball, and if you could see the difference.
do I see the difference? Yeah, can't you?
Yeah. So you first.
Oh, what you mean? What you mean? So I'm like, yeah. I said, can't you see the difference? Yeah.
Yeah. You first. Obviously.
Okay. Now, what's different? You mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I like about men's basketball, first of all, I love. I think part of men's basketball is aggression, right? That aggressive nature, power plays, slam dunks, even even tricks to me are smoother, right? Like certain ways to cross over, certain kind of agile ways we do, jumping higher. For us, that's like all abilities that the average person can't do. The problem with, I think, women's basketball in a lot of cases, not all cases, is that men think like, oh, I can do that. We don't look at these guys ain't looking at LeBron and saying I can do that. We didn't look at Kobe and Jordan and say, yeah, I can do that. We didn't look at Kevin Durant and say that. Nobody looked at Dominique Wilkins and said that. Nobody looked at, you know what I mean? But the average guy who don't play ball think he can beat Angel Reese. I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying by skill level and the way we look at basketball, we look at like, yeah, look, you see that footage that just came out with the, I'm not sure if it was the Sparks. They were training against those five regular average guys.
I didn't see it.
It looked crazy. It looked like, wait, y'all having a problem out here? These are five regular guys who don't play sports. It was one fat nigga. It was like an average. It was like regular dudes.
They was dominating the girls.
Not dominating, but it just wasn't. It wasn't like easy. It wasn't like you should be killing these niggas. These niggas out of shape, all kind of stuff. But it was like certain kind of like even sometimes the way players move, WNBA players move. It's a certain kind of like Angel Reese to me is clumsy.
Okay,
and I don't,
so we get on the same
page. I don't mean
it's slower. The WNBA
definitely slower.
Is slower, much slower.
It's definitely slower. So we like fast pace also. So even when Angel Reese, like if one basket you getting 4 rebounds from one shot, which is pretty much your shot that you keep missing and getting the rebounds, right? So for me, I'm like, if I'd have seen an NBA player do this, I'd have turned TV off.
Bench him. Why is he standing in the
like, what is going on? So that's why people had a problem with her having these rebound records. That's where the term me-bound come from.
Right.
Yeah. Because they're like, yo, how are you gonna brag about having 30 rebounds? You
gotta miss 28 of
yours. Yeah, like they're yours. You know what I mean? So now I have a problem. Why are you missing all these baskets? So now when somebody like Caitlin comes around, and I'm like, oh, that's what Steph looked like. The conversation changes. Caitlin came around and people start saying, yo, she's shooting from the logo.
Right.
In real life. And it's not a bank shot. It's not bouncing around the rim. It's like...
It's money.
It's money. Easily. Her step back pull-up game is crazy. It looks crazy. So people are like, yo, we need more of that. So what the fans do? Turn it into race.
But you know what? But because I don't want to turn this race thing. But what you just said that the fans need more of is why they criticizing the NBA though. Ain't they saying it's too much? Everybody going down and just shooting threes, and is that not
everybody doing? No, but everybody criticizing the NBA about that.
Right, but that's what they want in the WNBA, huh?
Look, the reason why they criticize the NBA because too many niggas are trying to shoot threes.
Okay, all right.
It ain't producing the results. You know what I'm saying? And look, the fact that everybody's trying to do what Steph does, but they don't average out the same. So that means y'all messing up the game.
Right. Okay.
That's why why you think and that's why the NBA score be so high. Why I never in the days of me coming up and watching basketball in the 90s, I've never seen 102 teams do 130 something, 120 something point game.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are you niggas shooting from? But if you do the percentages, they're not averaging out the same, right? But the difference between the NBA is that most of these things trying to shoot threes and they passing up better shots just to shoot the three because we can do it today. Caitlin is like she's one of few over there
that can hit that
shoot a three like that, but hitting them
right,
and it looks crazy. So people like the WNBA is what I mean. Men been telling women from the beginning, what's our problem with the WNBA? The minute something changed about it, men ran over there. It's proof. Look, we said we like the game a certain kind of way. Caitlin showed up. Oh, yep, that's the way we like it. And then niggas flew over there. That's the way. That's right because we still can't expect y'all to dunk. And even if y'all dunk, it's a basic run up and just dunk the ball, right? So we're not looking for that because that's not happening right now.
Right.
But Caitlin reminded us of like, oh, that's why they got to move the arena from DC to Virginia because everybody want to see that type of basketball. Yeah. Now imagine if you get like 10, 15 more Caitlins around the league. The money gonna change again. Caitlin started coming on the court, and all of a sudden, teams got jets, money rolling in.
Ho, Lucc now, because Caitlin is not the, she's like that, but she's not the best WNBA player. That's
because you're talking stats.
No, we talking like, what's the rookie Paige Beckers?
Yeah, she's new. She's a rookie.
Baller.
It's a new conversation. No, but this is a new conversation we're having.
Okay.
But it has to be a Caitlin first. But let's talk before that.
Okay, all right. No. Because you saying once Caitlin came on, now you got jets and all that. And I'm like, Caitlin did her thing, right? For the eyes to come on them.
Yeah, for sure.
She ain't the only one. I don't want to give her too much.
She's the only one now.
I'm saying.
Look, here's the thing. She wasn't the only one, period. This is what I'm saying. Because Angel Reese was already a thing. What's her name? The other guy got the other shoe deal. The star. Asia
Wilson.
Asia Wilson. She was a thing already. So Caitlin wasn't the best. I mean,
okay. I see where you go.
Well, you can argue that, right? But what I'm saying is that Asia Wilson was a thing. So it wasn't like. But what I'm saying is, we talk about what it looked like. See, Asia Wilson and Angel, you got to talk about stats, right? Caitlin is what it looked like.
The optics.
What we're talking about.
Got it. I got you.
Yeah, the reason why you think Jordan is a thing forever, Kobe is a thing forever. It's what it looked like because you could put up the same amount of numbers, but did you look like Jordan when you jumped in the air? Did you look like him? Was you doing that? Was you doing? You know what I mean? Did it look the same? No, because we also like swag too. We like style.
Okay, so another question. How about college football? I mean, college basketball. Then, what's the difference in the NBA and college basketball? We can say we just got that the NBA,
men and women.
The NBA and WNBA. The women's basketball is slower. Is that the same for college too, or is there a different style of play in college basketball?
It started to change. Juju, have you seen Juju play?
No, I don't want to talk about women anymore. Juju was
nice.
My
bad.
Watkins,
okay.
Yeah, Juju Watkins is nice. I was just talking about like the level of play from the NBA to the WNBA. Yeah, the WNBA is slower. But now with the NBA and men's college basketball, is men's college basketball slower as well, or is there a different type of play? Yeah,
it's fire. Yeah. The only problem if you want to call this a problem, it's not a problem to most people. The only problem with me in college basketball is too many teams because it's so many colleges. So NBA, I'm watching over 27 teams, I forgot how many teams in the NBA. It's so many college games, and I didn't go to college, meaning I'm not a fan of just one team, right? So with me, it's like I'll catch a game as my friends watch something. Or you hear about some big game, Duke playing somebody, and I'm like, I'm watch that game because that's the game they say you watch. This is the big game, right? So I watch that. When it comes to fans, ain't no shortage of people watching the killer basketball game, college ball games. Okay. The fans are going up for real.
Okay, so
it's high pace and the same thing. You said what?
Okay, it's the same level of play for college.
Well, when I say level, I don't want to disrespect a grown ass man in the league,
right?
But right, but
for sure,
yeah,
those are professionals.
It's the downgrade of the NBA, right? It's the level before you get to professional, and it looks like.
Okay, so they're just as entertaining then. The college basketball is just as entertaining. Okay.
Here's the thing: you can argue that the atmosphere of college is way more entertaining than NBA.
Yes.
The atmosphere,
right?
I've been a sold out NBA games. I've been to playoff games, stuff like that. And the energy is dope, depending on where you are, depending on what home, excuse me, what arena you in.
Right.
College games on a regular damn college game, it is turned up. Like ain't nothing like a college basketball arena filled with those fans going crazy. I'm not even talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about a regular game.
Yeah. I've been to a few.
The energy is too electric. Nothing like it.
Yeah. I gotta go ahead, and I ain't gonna take you up. I know you got a few other topics you gotta get to your people about.
No. Actually, I've been on long enough for homeroom. Homeroom, I don't do it too long.
No, yeah. Well, homeroom was dope today.
I appreciate you logging on. This ain't the last time, right?
No, for sure not.
Our panel stuff. I do appreciate you. I appreciate your topic, the question. So definitely, we'll tap. We're gonna talk, and we'll have you tap in back in soon.
Yeah, thanks, Lucc. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Always. Have a good one. Appreciate you.
All right, chat. See ya.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm about to get up out of here too myself. I gotta go take care of some stuff. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. I really want to get Michelle J on today and just cover some things. I'm glad we talked about some music questions, some topics with let me see. Okay, let me go. Okay, boom. Some music questions. Some good. We had covered some good topics today. Obviously, got on some basketball, college, and stuff like that. She's dope, man. I appreciate her. Her energy is dope. Her spirit is dope. I love to hear her poetry one day. We got maybe we should do that one day. And that'd be dope. We had like it's kind of corny, but corny becomes funny sometimes too. What if we had like a homeroom talent show? Like whatever your skill is. If you like a rapper, you can rap. If you like a comedian, you can tell jokes. You a poet, do a poem or something like that. If you like, I don't know, like that'd be cool to have like maybe have like I don't even know if we can get 10 people, but we probably can't get 10 people. But if we could get like 5 or 6 people to have like a cool little funny talent show, I think that'd be super dope. Bob Backwoods, appreciate that, man. Yeah, that was dope. I think I want to do more of that where I talk to dope people, the community, have them tap in, and I still want to do those like those little discussion, little panels, like maybe once a week. I think that'd be dope. It'd be like maybe 4 or 5 of us on here covering topics. I think that'd be super cool too. And like I said, I think it'll be really dope for the community for us to all fellowship with each other and feel like we're really a part of the community. I don't necessarily like just being on this side of the screen and everybody else being on the other side of the screen. I feel like let's all have a dope conversation up here. So why should I just respond to comments? We all can sit on the screen and just chop it up. So I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks again for tapping in to Homeroom. I'll be here again tomorrow, 10 a.m. I'm right back at it tomorrow, 10 a.m. Please tap in. I didn't have my information up today because I forgot because I was having such a good conversation with Michelle. I forgot to put my banner up, but I would appreciate you if you all like, subscribe, and comment. Please like the video. Just like it. If you haven't done it already, it's cool. I'm not mad. Let's we'll do better. We'll do better in the future. Like the video. Subscribe if you aren't subscribed. So if you peeping, just subscribe, please. I think it's no big deal. Just subscribe. Nothing. Subscribe. And leave a comment. Leave a comment, man. I appreciate y'all for that. So I'll be tapping in with y'all tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. So thanks for kicking off your morning with me here in Homeroom. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your favorite comment in the section, right? Tap in, talk to somebody, shout out somebody out, show some love, like again, and like one more time. But yeah, man, I love to hear from you. Until next time, man, stay real, stay inspired, and have a great day. I appreciate y'all as always. My good peoples, I am out.